Hey everybody, it's CJ Miller. I'm in my apartment in Shreveport, Louisiana, and across the Red River over there is beautiful Hoosier City, Louisiana. My LED lights are going, and yeah, so it's just having fun outside on this lovely spring evening. The weather's great. Thoroughly enjoying it, and no, not too much is going on. I just, I didn't want the evening to pass by without making a little video because I feel good. I feel like it's really good to showcase uh, all spectrums of experience. Like just want to talk about. We want to reach out to people and talk about things when times are tough, but it's really good to also share when things are feeling good and the world seems okay and there's even better than okay, great. It's not to brag on it, but to share. I believe my personal philosophy that I picked up from other people. I didn't invent it, but to you know share good things increases the joy of those good things, to share them with other people, to talk about them and everything. And of course, when things are tough, to reach out and talk to trusted people and sharing those hardships, uh, you know, uh, lessens the burden of them. Even if you still have to go through what you have to go through, if you can find some, you know, communal support on the of the emotional kind, it can lessen that burden. But anyway, that's about as deep as I want to get on this. I'm just enjoying a great day. I'm thinking of going for a walk. Yeah, let's do that. Hang on. I'll start you back in a minute once I get downstairs. We're gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go for a walk, and you'll see the recording. All right, there. So we're out walking around. I was gonna put on a light jacket, but um, to my people, they have their lights that flash. I need to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know. I got a little, you know, uh, globe in my window, a Tesla ball, Tesla globe. But yeah, I kind of want to step it up. I want to get some. It's going to be easy to do though. I'll just get some programmable LED lights that I can program uh, to do whatever. Bulbs, just regular bulbs, but you can program them. They've been out for years. So, okay, I'm gonna pause this while I get a little closer. A couple of blocks over. Some interesting things to see. I think today I'm gonna walk over and do the Asian gardens. So we'll head over in that direction, which is to walk right past the Millennium Studios and behind the church, and I'll be right there. I love how there's so much going on in this neighborhood, uh, but you know, it's a concise neighborhood where there's a lot of everything, and it's close, so you can walk around. I probably should have changed my shoes and boots, but whatever. So, okay, so yeah, be with you in just a sec. Okay, so for the newer folks that haven't scrolled down to look at my videos, there's a couple of you that are newer. Behind me is the Millennium Studios that now is owned by I forget Curtis something. I don't know, 50 Cent, the rapper. And then behind me over here is formerly First United Methodist Church. I don't know what it's called now. They keep changing their name. This particular Methodist church, when they join or unite or whatever, based on whatever they're in agreement with. This time around, it was marriage equality. They didn't feel like it was in keeping with their personal values, whatever. Can't be a hater. I'm gay, but I wasn't going to get married anyway. But if I wanted to, I will find, uh, uh, I will find someone, you know. But I couldn't be a part of myself, I couldn't be part of a particular denomination that, for the most part, uh, didn't agree with such a part of my being, you know. And that's not to say that, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's a beautiful church, so I've been inside a few times. So, okay, let me, and then on the other side of this, where I'm going to walk, where you're going to see me in just a few minutes, we're going to be at the Municipal Auditorium in Shreveport. That got mentioned in the movie Elvis, the the Louisiana Hayride. You know, it's a big important part of musical history. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right, so here's the church. It's behind me, just that block over, and then there's a parking lot that's actually kind of sort of a park that's not affiliated with the First United Methodist Church. I do not believe, but it's nearby. It's a park, uh, you know, and you know, right behind that is a historic cemetery. This is in this. There is a mound where there is a mass body where shortly after the foundation of Shreveport, and it was kind of established, and it was downtown, and that was pretty much basically it. Maybe a little. There was a yellow fever outbreak that killed much of the population, uh, and you know, uh, it was like. Uh, that I don't know why the mass grave, but it's there. You know? Okay, so this is the Municipal Auditorium. That's not the full name of it, though. It's I think it's the Municipal Memorial Auditorium. I'm gonna come introduce these statues in a moment. Let's make it deep. I should know this. I'm sitting here talking about it. I should know some stuff, but there's a plaque up here, so I'm gonna come in here and check it. You know, when I was a kid, they would have wrestling here. Yes, let's do this. Let's call this the Shreveport Municipal Memorial Auditorium, or it's the Memorial Municipal Auditorium. I don't know. Whatever. We just call it the Municipal Auditorium, and it's great on the inside. It carries sound well, and it's wonderful. And I've been to a few concerts here. I've seen Alice Cooper here a few times over the last few years. I've seen some other shows. I think Foreigner. Went to a Foreigner concert with a group of friends. That was a good time. When I was a teenager, my sister's high school graduation was here. But my first time coming here, I came to see a wrestling match. And wrestling at the time, not wrestling. I'm not that Southern. I used to, when I was a kid, I called it wrestling because I didn't know. Because my family, they're all, you know, we're Southern. And my dad's side of the family, all those, they're a little bit older. And so they have those thick accents that I trained away from. There's another church right there. That is the second location at St. Mark's, which is this area's Episcopal Cathedral, but it actually moved from here and it moved over to Fairfield, and I used to work over there. And I can say that I'm not Episcopalian. I can tell you that I'm not Episcopalian. But it was not a bad experience working there. I just worked so many jobs. Okay, so I love this. of course, this is famous for the radio station uh, WKRP in Cincinnati. No, uh, WK. God, I know this. W. Whatever. I'll put it in the notes. I'll go home before I post a video. I'll put it in the notes. But I can tell you that it used to be a classic country radio station, and then it changed formats when and became a news format. So now they pretty much just talk radio about news, uh, and it's yeah. How do KWKH? Is that right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out. Anyway, so. Uh, Behind me, and I don't know what they do here. I don't really see too much going on, but it's James Burton's Rock and Roll Foundation. So I think maybe it's a museum or something. I need to see if there's anything of interest. I have some people that I run around with, and we like to do things that are fun and check out things that are historic. And this would be awesome. James Burton was Elvis's lead guitarist for much of his for much of Elvis's career. James Burton backed him up, you know. So, and he was a big, important part of many musicians at the Louisiana Hayride, I guess. So I don't know, and he was here. He came back home, and lived here and really supported the region, even until almost into the new millennium. I mean, that's and he had a good life, and he really made contributions. And, so yeah, I like to get here when I can. I also like to go and check out the Strand Theater. There's some videos in the few years that I've been doing this. So this is a statue. That is a statue of James Burton. And I could turn on the flashlight and show you, but that would just show away from the way the camera's facing. So, and of course, this is a statue of the king. And then, of course, on Texas Street, there's a statue of another figure that's very important, probably even more important than Elvis Presley to modern music, if you really want to know the truth, and that was Huddy Ledbetter, Leadbelly. His statue is in front of our downtown Main Branch Library, and it kind of points to this particular direction behind me, which was at one point known as Ledbetter Heights. It was also known as St. John's Bottoms, because it was kind of the bottom of a hill at which there was a church, St. John's, and so everything down it. So it was kind of functioned as Shreveport's first red light district, which was not the first in the state, obviously, but it was kind of like, we know what you're doing, and yes, it's not legal, these things, but it's kind of sort of, if you keep it down there, but if you bring it outside of this particular zone, the taxes and penalties are going to be a lot more than what they are. So, you do that illegal shit if you want to, but keep it in your own little neighborhood or whatever. And so, but red light districts are not what they used to be. And today, I live there. I live in that area that we called it the Bottoms, but it's no longer a red light district, and had not been since they cleared things away. First in the early to mid 1990s when they wanted to bring riverboat business. They came through and they did sweeps, and then and it really wasn't as what it was, but there were people that you come down here and people would say, "Hey, what you looking for?" They would. Uh, uh, I would hear some of the sweetest voices that could melt your heart, and then turn around and find out those voices are coming from the most tragically horrific, visually unappealing women ever. And it's like, uh, if you could just talk, and but no, I didn't do the whole like uh, female prostituting thing, but yeah, it was kind of like that back in the day, and now it's not. They've actually cleaned the neighborhood up, and they've come in and they put these things that we're about to walk through. We've actually passed over uh, a few of the uh, uh, things. It's hard to see in this light. I'm so sorry. This is a statue. And then there's another one right here that kind of focuses on what I like to think of the main entrance from the eastern side. There's a couple of stations uh, from here right before you get to the back side of the municipal auditorium. But all these little places, they have things to come and look. Uh, like I said, hard to see in this light, but all of these uh, things, they've all got statues, garden statues, and things, and they represent different aspects of Oriental culture. Because, not some of it's Indian, some of it's Oriental, the different Japanese, Okinawa. Even in those countries, it's not that dissimilar from the U.S. where we have our different areas, we have our own individual cultures, and we don't all look like what comes out of Hollywood or New York. We do still have a vast culture, even if social media has bridged some of those barriers, but it's hard to see. And I think that's one of the reasons why when we really got social media in the palm of our hand, we took to bickering on Facebook immediately. You shouldn't say this because this is insulting to this and it means this. And so, what happens in that situation, we know this, is that a turn of phrase is insulting to this particular culture because it's meant derogatorily, but you know, hundreds of miles away, even 1,000 miles away, whatever, or even a lot closer, it can be used, same phrase, same everything, and it be uh, an edification versus a put down. So, but that's great. Kind of like yeah. I'm not gonna say any examples or anything like that. I'm not gonna get into it, but I think that's one of the reasons why people had so much trouble early on, and then Facebook got and other social media of the type. At the time, Twitter, now X, which I do have an X account, but I hardly ever. I go there to say hello to celebrities that I wish I could rub elbows with because I admire them, uh, but and appreciate the work. It's not so much that I admire them. I want to thank the celebrities for the entertainment. These little dragons and stuff, but I really think this is This is an elephant, which I think is Indian. Primarily, I think, but Asian gardens, yeah. So there's more than one type of uh, culture, uh, and it's an Asian gardens. But when they do have an Asian festival, and they do that once a year, what they've started to do, and I think I've talked about this, I'm sure I must have, because I talk about it probably every time I come here. They started to invite other cultures to participate, and even it's an Asian festival, but it's hosting multicultural influences, because that is the truth of culture in the United States, is that we do uh, influence each other, and I'm not talking about appropriation, which is exploitation for the point of profit, to steal culture away from one particular group to exploit it. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about what happens naturally when you have cultures living next door to each other, and you get to know each other, and you introduce each other to each other's music and each other's food and each other's fashions and clothes and everything. There's a melding that happens organically, and that is wonderful. And that happens in music first, sometimes exploited exploitedly, but yeah. uh, I think it's better when it just happens. So, uh, cool. I've gone on for about 20 minutes. What I'm going to do, pause the video and see if I can walk over by the river, which is not that far. I'm on one end uh, of this common street, which is downtown proper. I live uh, really downtown, because I live in the west downtown, is what they call it. So, yeah. I'm going to pause you, and then we'll check it out when I get there. My doctor gave me some information. I was talking about, checkup stuff. And he suggested that I walk for 30 minutes every day. And I'm like, dude, I think I've got that covered, because I do this almost on a daily basis, and I walk my ass off because I love to walk. By the way, I've talked about this building. I call it the You Need a Biscuit building. It's got that sign that was from the You Need a Biscuit, the National Biscuit Company, way, way back. First of its kind for food distribution of its sort, first for snack food, and first of its kind for that type of advertising. And they created a company for the food, and they created a company for the advertising. And now it is 711 Milam Street, and it is wonderful. And there's lots of art on the inside. And this is a blended income experience. I've seen the lofts. They're wonderful. And the only thing, if you came here and you said, you know what, I am an artist. If your art is, Crayola, but you have another job, but you enjoy art and you consider yourself an artist, you qualify for that artist level of rent, which is, a little bit cheaper than market and stuff. So that's the secret there. You don't have to, in order to be an artist, you don't have to make your living as an artist. Thank God, because I occasionally sell a piece of art here and there, and could never see myself trying to support myself with the art that I do. I don't sell like art that's like $2,000 or $3,000. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So I'm gonna pause you again until I get down to the river, or until I think of something interesting to say. You're like, if you think of something interesting to say, you haven't thought of it yet. Okay, so why are there cars parked along here in these after hours, late night, and seemingly empty lobbies? Well, that is because people live in these buildings. They're residential, as their business and their residential. So that's kind of cool. So if you love a downtown experience, we got you. Come check us out. Who knows? You might want to become one of us. One of us. So behind me, under this bridge at Commerce Street, there already were some bars here that I used to frequent in that early 90s, but they decided they wanted riverboat casinos. And so that's one of the first things they did, was they kind of came in there and dressed that place up. And a lot of those bars closed down or changed hands. There's still bars there, but one of the things that they did was they attempted to open a red light district on this end. And hang on, I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so, uh, no. So, this street used to be Commerce Street. Well, it is Commerce Street, but all those places I used to come out and hang out. And just didn't matter what night of the week. It was, kind of live, and it was kind of like an area where you could have your cocktail in a cup and walk from one club to the next, and they kind of allowed that as long as it was here, and kind of a festival like or whatever. So, and no, it's I wanted to say was it that corner there, but it's really this one up here. There's a restaurant here now, but yeah, and I can't be certain. I do know it was the corner of one of these buildings, and I think it was this one up here, where Cassandra's, the restaurant, is now. We used to have, before Festival Plaza, we would still have the Red River Revel. All of these tile art kind of represents a lot of our local culture and influences and things. So, and it was great. We had so the Red River Revel before Festival Plaza would take place on the riverfront. Now, all that riverfront park that we're going to look at, that wasn't there. The fountains and all that kind of stuff. It was just kind of like, parkway, open parkway. But yeah, it was just much smaller, but it was called the Fun Shop. And it was kind of a costume shop, an adult novelty shop, basically. You'd come in there and look at costumes and stuff, but you couldn't go past the very front of the room because then it became like an adult store. It didn't have any like arcades or buddy booths or anything like that, but if you were interested in adult entertainment, that was where you went on this side of town, So, there was a red light district down here, but they pretty much stopped a lot of that. Not that it stopped, but it just kind of moved so that casinos and casino-related business could come in and function. And the whole idea was, people were like, is it going to bring, crime, casinos, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. But, I mean, it's like to make families feel okay. And people do come here with their families and they'll eat and they'll dine and stuff, So, and they wanted to build that, They wanted these things, but they wanted it to be a place where you could come with your family. I think Las Vegas has a kind of a duality of that. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, but also it's a place where you can go on a family vacation kind of thing, depending upon. So I haven't been there, but I just knew the history of it. But they come down here and they put the aquarium eventually. That was after the hurricanes, of course. And then I thought that was a restaurant that they were going to start making a public restaurant, but it's just a special event venue. So a person like me doesn't just walk in on the street. They only do it by special event. Of course, the Riverview Casino. I talked about the bridge a lot. I'm going to walk over to the water, mellow out. This time I'm going to do it without making a recording of all my thoughts. It's going to be a little bit of time that I'm going to spend with me. And plus, I've already talked almost 30 minutes on this video. Let me go ahead and say at this point, love and light, peace, God bless, and good night.